The holidays are all about sharing with family. Meals, couches, stories, Grandma's secret pecan pie recipe. And now you can also share a cart with Instacart Family Carts. Everyone can add what they want to one group cart from wherever they are. So you don't have to go from room to room to find out who wants cranberry sauce, or whether you should get mini marshmallows for the yams, or collecting votes for sugar cookies versus shortbread. Just share a cart, and then share the meals and the moments. Download the Instacart app and get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes. Plus, enjoy free delivery on your first 3 orders. Service fees and terms apply.
Hey, Prime members, have you heard? You can listen to your favorite podcasts ad-free? Good news! With Amazon Music, you have access to the largest catalog of ad-free top podcasts included with your Prime membership. To start listening, download the Amazon Music app for free or go to amazon.com/ad-free-podcast. That's amazon.com/ad-free-podcast to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
This is Fixing Famous People, the podcast where 2 reality television producers pitch solutions to save celebrities in dire straits.
But first, let's get to the Prefix, your weekly pop culture roundup.
Listeners, where to begin? A trilogy of tantalization is bestowed upon this podcast this week. We're going to talk about Wicked breaking all sorts of records, but more importantly, the Holy Spirit of this triumvirate, the Fixie nominations, the 2nd annual Fixing Famous People Awards were announced via Zoom on Sunday evening. Where the fuck were you? If not there, where were you? Thawing your Thanksgiving turkey? Where were you?
Yeah, getting a butterball, fighting someone at Walmart for a butterball. Hundreds of votes have poured in already. We are 2 weeks out from capping the votes. So listen, if you are not signed up for the $5 tier on Patreon, you're just going to be just like us at the Oscars, sitting at home, wishing and praying Ariana Grande wins that supporting actress Oscar, and you're powerless against it unless you sign up for the $5 tier, okay?
And here's the thing. If JoJo Siwa defeats 3-time nominee Jennifer Lopez for Dumbest Moment of the Year, it's actually not like us watching the Oscars because we had no choice.
Yeah.
But you will know that you could have done something to prevent
you failed us. That you failed us. Because
what if J-Lo's 3 nominations for Dumbest Moment of the Year, what if this splits the vote and JoJo Siwa wins Dumbest Moment of the Year?
Listen, votes can be split. There's very few things that have no votes. There's a lot of activity going on, is all I'm going to say to you, okay? I'm checking it every hour, and I'm like, what's happening? Who's in the lead? And people are being overtaken. People are being it's pretty fucking
competitive.
Crazy.
It's competitive.
I'm like, oh, this person's out in the front. And then all of a sudden I check back 2 hours later. I'm like, nope, they're in 3rd place now.
Head over to the Fixing Famous People Instagram page where you will be regaled with such categories as most ridiculous non-scandal, most fixed celebrity. You will see everyone from Diddy to Blake Lively to Peanut the fucking squirrel got nominations this year. My arch nemesis, Peanut, the deceased TikTok squirrel.
It's so horrible. It's so horrible.
Come be a part of this fun holiday idiocy with us and head over, look at the nominees, and then get ready because we're going to have a full award show right on this podcast in a few weeks for everybody, not just the Patreon people. But if you do sign up for that $5 tier, you still have 2 weeks to vote. Get to it now.
And listen to me. The Fixie Awards is going to be the most people that we've ever had on this show at the same time. Okay? I
don't even think I knew that.
We have guests. We have presenters. You guys don't even know what's coming. Okay.
How many people will be here?
I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
Because it's going to be
It's even a surprise to me.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. All right. Let's move on to the other 2 giant events of the week. For those of you who follow either of us on socials, you are aware that I was once again in the same room with Cher. We went to go see Regis. I am aware that it's called Live with Kelly and Mark. I will only ever call this television program Regis.
Horrible.
We went to Regis. We sat through the live taping of Richard Gere, who was a delight, I might add.
Sure.
And at 94 years old, still a hot piece of ass. And then
he's 94.
Oh, he's like 72 or something.
Oh,
like that.
I believe.
I with the look on your face that, but
did you see
Clint
me?
Eastwood's like 94.
Yeah,
isn't
no,
he?
that's why I was shocked.
She walked out. We were able to sit in the front row of the audience. I was with my friends Vinny and Janelle, and Cher did the high five walk up and back, which meant I got to touch her twice, up and back. Let me tell you this. I've met Cher several times before, been very close to her, had my arms around her, touched her, as I did this past week.
Correct.
The skin on this woman, I'm telling you, I understand that she is a billionaire. I understand.
Yeah, she has like every medical marvel known to man that exists at her disposal. Yeah.
But even still, not a wrinkle, not a blemish. How is this a 78-year-old human being? I have absolutely no idea. The skin on her hand. This woman has never held a hammer in her entire life.
See, that's the thing is that, usually you can get 95 facelifts, but then the back of your hand is like wrecked. You know what I mean?
The palm and the back of it. And I had my hands on both of them. They were absolutely smooth. That like a newborn. There's some, I don't know what this woman's doing. She is bathing in the stem cells of virgins every night. That's the only way I can explain that.
Speaking of a newborn, the post that you put up, one is you touching her. And then the second photo is you blubbering like a child with your hands up screaming. And when I tell you the number of people that messaged me, not even just messaged you, messaged me to be like, is Dom okay? Like, oh my God, like this is clistery, like blah, blah, blah. Like, it
was clistery.
It was clistery, but yeah.
Because listen, neither Cher nor I are getting any younger. So anytime I'm in the room with her, I do think to myself, will this be the last time that Cher and I are together?
Sure.
Will this be Dami and Cher's last public appearance?
Dear God.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I hope not. There's another tour coming. There's an album. There's lots of VIP shit. Her press tour has just been nothing short of magic. She did
Mamma Mia 3. Yeah.
She was on Kelly Clark. She's been doing everything, and she is so engaged, and so the book is so good. Please buy the book. You will be regaled with just, even if you just like showbiz memoirs, just her being as part of the Phil Spector's Wall of Sound. Like, she's a part of music history. And it's only the first book. The second one's coming out next year. And her boyfriend, who I believe is 34 or 35 years younger than her.
Like truly my age.
got her back in the studio to do another album. So I don't care. I don't care if he's just shy of 18. Thank you, AE. Get her back in the studio and read the book. There's so many surprises in there. Her real name, her birth certificate says Cheryl, not Cher. This was one of many bombshells in the book.
Yeah. What did that do to you? That wrecked you. That hit you. Like,
I mean, it didn't seem to bother her, so I was okay with it. And I don't really have anything personal against the name Cheryl, but Cher's not a Cheryl.
Sure.
No.
My
and
God.
That's it. All right. Number 3, Wicked. I mean, what to say?
Saw it again. I have something to say.
Speaking of
what a surprise. What a surprise. I have something to say.
Go ahead.
Saw it for the second time in Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos, like in the most state-of-the-art way that I possibly could. Dominic, I cried so much. And again, already saw the movie, saw every single part of it, knew everything that was going to happen, knew every scene. At the end of it, the lights come up. And when I tell you that my entire group needed to wait for me to compose myself so we could get up and walk out of the theater.
Why?
The music at the end of Defying Gravity, like the music and the loudness of it and just like how beautiful it looked. And it was humongous. And like you're rattled. Like it is rattling you. The music is so loud and so grand. And I was just I was in shambles.
Will you see it again? Will you see it the third time?
Hassan wanted to go last night.
Wait, was Hassan with you when you saw it the second time?
Yes, and he was like, "Are you okay?"
Was he also crying?
Oh, like a little bit, but no, I was weeping. I was like, like I was like actually weeping about it. Whereas like other people like shed a tear, were like, "Oh my God, that was so beautiful." Mm-hmm. I was like in hysterics.
Do you think Hassan was only crying a little bit just because he was upset that he was at the theater with a grown man who was acting like a 5-year-old?
No. No, he wasn't. But I implore all of you, if you are going to go see it, if you have the option to see it in either like IMAX or like whatever your theater does, like Dolby or whatever, like premium version. I don't want to say 4D because like what's the point of that? Not 4D, but if you have
4D, the one where like you sit in the chairs that like blow spit on you and
like,
stuff.
no, thank you. You're like, that's going to be a no for me,
thank
Dom. Yeah, but like if you can do like an IMAX / Dolby / like HD version, please do it because it's going to leave those theaters soon. And it was a completely different experience from the first time I saw it.
I want to see it in a theater where I feel like I can smell Michelle Yeoh's breath.
Yeah, that's what happened. Like that's what I did, and it was great. Box office, blockbuster, as they say.
Yep. Biggest Broadway musical adaptation opening of all time.
I think of all time, right?
And, we sort of made fun of the Gladiator and Wicked trying to do a Barbenheimer thing, but Glicked was a real thing. And Gladiator did well. A lot of people did see both movies in the same weekend. And Gladiator made $55-60 million. They're already talking about a Gladiator 3.
I don't know
which I wonder if that will open up opposite Wicked
Everyone's
too.
like, why did they make Gladiator 2? Like many people that I saw that saw both of them was like, they didn't need to make this, but like, sure, I went and saw it because like, sure, but like, what was the point of this,
Everyone I know who saw Gladiator 2 just was like, yeah, that was nice. They weren't
sobbing openly in front of children in the theater like I was at the end of Wicked.
I finally broke into my Producers Guild app to start watching my screeners this year, and I was very hungover on Sunday. And rather than watch something of note like Honora or Amelia Perez, I chose to watch Alien Romulus. I have no regrets.
I can't with you.
I love the Alien movies, and this was like...
It's kind of giving like Deep Blue Sea. Like, remember that movie where like those sharks were attacking like LL Cool J and he was a chef?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Is it like that? I feel like it's like that, where they're all in like a bunker and the aliens are getting them.
No, this was more of like, this was actually somehow a sequel to the original 1979 movie Alien. I will have problems articulating it because there's been so much in this universe with all the Alien movies. But yeah, basically this group of kids comes across the ship from the 1979 movie that Sigourney Weaver
Oh, that's like a drift.
From.
Got it.
It is a drift. And on that ship, they meet the droid or, the synthetic person from that movie.
Oh, okay.
Who is played by an actor named Ian Holm, who died several years ago. So they just basically have like AI'd him into the movie.
Are you serious?
I swear to God.
Oh my God.
Worth a watch.
Okay, before you said that, I was coming around.
Now you don't want to watch it?
When they find the spaceship that's adrift, like that's fun.
It is fun. You should. Yeah. I think you would enjoy it, actually.
Okay. That could be a fun thing for...
You know who's not adrift? You know who's not blubbering this week? You know who's having the best week of several years? Jussie Smollett. Yeah. Because fucking his whatever the legal term is, charges dropped, conviction overturned, whatever. He's done. He's not done anything wrong now.
How is that possible?
I don't know, because the justice system in the United States is bonkers.
A circus. It's a complete circus.
It's ridiculous.
So none of this happened, or did he just like get off on a technicality? That's the thing that we have to remember.
There was some sort of technicality wrapped up in this. I am not, this is not Joe and Mika, in the morning. We're not going to be picking this shit apart. I don't even care if what we're saying is true. But yeah, he's done. So he joins the long list of celebrities in 2024 who are just like, oh, was that a crime? No, I'm done. Harvey Weinstein's with the New York crime overturned.
Insane.
Alec Baldwin killed someone out doing the film festivals. Yeah. It's like one after another. I don't know.
I didn't know that Harvey Weinstein's New York thing got over.
Well, he's got like an LA case and a New York case, and he was convicted in both. But I believe it's the New York one that got thrown out, but the LA one is not.
But wasn't that the woman that had the like wire on him?
I don't know.
Remember?
You have to ask Joe and Mika. I have absolutely no idea.
You touched my breast. Remember she said that? Like we all heard it. That's what she said.
No.
I'll never forget it for the rest of my life because the way that she said it was so funny. But like it was horrifying because she like is confronting him being like, you groped me. And he's like, we have it. Like, I heard it. So even if they're like, he's free, I'm going to be like, and guilty as charged.
There's too many technicalities.
I can't with that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's upsetting. Don't like that.
So now someone who's not getting out, when I guess thought they would, is the Menendez brothers.
Yeah.
So
meanwhile, the people that are the least guilty of all,
The Menendez bros have to wait until January to find out what their fate is going to be.
Upsetting.
There was talk, of course, that they'd be out by Thanksgiving. That is not happening. In other news, I believe Lyle Menendez is married and is now separated from his wife, for those who care. So I guess when he gets out of jail, he'll be single, ladies.
I mean, he's getting ready.
You know what? That sounds like a catch, because you know who's really well-adjusted for life on someone who's been in jail for 30 years.
Yeah.
That's someone you want to pick up and marry right away.
Yeah. What's an iPhone? Yeah. What's the internet? Honestly, what wasn't this like 91 that this happened? Like, what's the internet? Yeah.
So maybe, who knows? Maybe by Valentine's Day, they will have gotten out.
I mean, can we get cameras up on him? If they're out, like, we need cameras
there's no...
Right, there's
I'm
no way
sure
they're
there's
not,
someone
right.
sleeping outside that jail just in case.
I'm just saying, like, they probably have
happens.
a deal to do a show on the contingency of them getting out of prison.
That show's probably already staffed. We're probably years too late to work on that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no way it's not already, like, ready to go at any moment.
Speaking of getting out, you know who got out of the United States? Ellen DeGeneres and her wife, Portia.
Yeah.
They're gone. They're out. They moved to England.
Some alleging this is her being Roman Polanski. Some people alleging that it's because of Trump getting elected.
Right. So
do I think, is it both? Probably.
It's probably a little of both. I mean, is it Elon Musk? Is he the one that's saying it's because of her relationship with Diddy and that shit's going to go down?
Yeah, sure.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I would believe anything Elon Musk says, but I don't. Of all the celebrities who would get roped into Diddygate, I feel really safe saying that Ellen didn't do anything.
I don't know. Dominic, I don't know. And I don't mean like attacking people, but like knowing about it, maybe. I have no reason to back that up other than just my thoughts, but I'm almost like I just know she's a mean person.
I feel like everyone in Hollywood probably knew about it. Who's like the nicest person I could think of? I bet Martin Short knew about it. We're going to cancel Martin Short.
But weirdly, I feel like she's a business person that like at every turn. Remember like when we tried to fix her, it was like she was going to be like a pop star agent and then like had all these pop stars and then just threw them away. Like she's burned them before. And again, do I think she was like at a freak off, like supplying people with like baby oil? No. But like, do I think that she was like doing business dealings with him for something weird? Maybe. Like she could get dragged into this like financially more than like she was there. Like,
do you think that she was like manufacturing some sort of organic baby oil for him to use at his parties? Is that the connection?
No.
Because don't forget too, and I don't even know if we mentioned this when we were fixing her, but like, remember when she was a judge on American Idol and sucked at it because she couldn't even say anything negative to the people?
Yes. And like, she also was like a house flipper. Like she's always like buying like a mansion to flip it and then sell it. So is then she buying one of Diddy's houses and he's like, P.S. like, give me a sex dungeon in the basement. You know what I mean? And she's like, okay, like, why do I feel like that's coming?
I don't know. This feels like such a wide left to me.
I'm being a free. No, I'm letting my imagination run wild, but
she's dyed her hair now. She's a brunette, I guess.
No.
In the hopes that people won't know. Yes, if you go online, there's video of them at a pub. I'm serious.
Bad. Dominic, that is bad.
You know, I like her better as a blonde.
That's the most guilty thing she's done so far. Is dye her hair
seriously?
brown.
I mean, you basically just accused her of fisting Usher at a party, and now you're like, oh, she's a brunette? That is a crime.
No, I'm just saying like that to me, she's like going incognito.
But she can't. She's one of the most famous.
Of course
she's on television every day for 20 years.
Yes.
Like she can't. Speaking of the British Isles, guess who was, for I believe the third year in a row, not invited to spend the holidays with the royal family?
They just will report on anything nowadays, won't they? They're
the
just
Duke
like,
and Duchess of Schmuckers have not been invited back yet again.
Of course they haven't. Of course. Who is surprised? Am I surprised? No.
Well,
are you surprised, Dominic?
You know, the king has cancer. Kate just had a health scare. If there was going to be a year where they said, you know, this is the time to band together, this would have been the year. But sadly, they still hate her.
I'm telling you, his book coming out did so much more damage than anyone talks about.
Well, there's also whispers about the two of them. Now, no one is saying that they're splitting up or anything, but they have not been seen together publicly for quite some time. And there are whispers that they're sort of up in the air as far as like what their working relationship is together. I feel like every project that they're doing is not going the way that it's supposed to because people don't want to see them
do
together.
Anything.
So they keep making these solo appearances and then releasing statements to justify it.
But they're also like not business people. This is what I don't get. And we'll talk about this when we eventually revisit them soon. But like neither of them are business people.
Right.
He's a professional celebrity is what he is. And she was an actress on one USA show and was before that on a game show.
Right.
Like,
I believe the technical term for that job was suitcase slut. Was it not?
No, Dominic.
What? I'm kidding.
What actually
Come
were
on, ladies?
they,
I'm kidding.
What were they called actually?
Suitcase
Girls?
women.
Yeah, like
girls probably. But
the briefcase holder. Yeah, briefcase holder.
Satchel sluts. I have absolutely no idea.
Briefcase opener. But like that's
valise vixens. I don't know what they'd be called.
Neither of these things does like a business person make. And it'd be one thing if they were just white labeling products and being like, yeah, I'll be the face of whatever the fuck thing you're going to pay me money for. That, sure. But then we would have already had all of the products, you know?
It's like she does the jam. Where's the jam? She was an actress. Now she's not acting. They have this foundation and basically their mission statement is something along the lines of we help children. You need to pinpoint it.
And
because
again,
basically
show me a picture of him like handing out a blanket to a child. Do you know what I mean? Like
anything. Do one thing that your mother did. Do it.
Yeah. Look, one thing for 1 second that your mother did.
Now they do the Invictus Games. Like I know that's his big deal. And there is talk that for the first time, they're going to be bringing Archie and Lilibet to the games this year and that Mother Meghan will accompany them as well. Because right now, basically what Meghan Markle does professionally is wear beige turtlenecks and move her hair behind her ear. Like that's her business card right there. Turtleneck hair mover. That's her profession.
Which again, that sounds like a fucking great job.
Oh, I'd grow my hair long again. If I got paid to move my hair behind my ears, I would do that.
2 seconds, but yet we have to get like, I'm the next Shark Tank person to come on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're positioning themselves to like be on Shark Tank soon. And I'm like, no.
I would need to get my neck done officially though, if I'm going to be like a turtleneck lady. So you don't because you could just hide it with the turtlenecks. Should I do like, Linda Dano, the Emmy-winning daytime actress and one-time host of Attitudes, is really famous in my house for wearing turtlenecks like above her chin,
like covering her face. Yeah. It's covering her mouth so you can. Yeah.
She's been wearing them like a surgical mask long before COVID.
Yeah, sure.
Let's talk about, and we drew breath at this today, the rejiggering of Vanderpump Rules.
No, Dominic.
Whole new cast. Everyone's out, and a whole new group of, I'm assuming Gen Z people or Gen Alpha, is that a thing? Will be in there. And I'm still on the fence about what I think about it, but on the group chat today, you and Tom were not feeling this.
I just don't. The people on the show are the show. Like they don't even shoot at SUR anymore. So like, sure, that's great. But like, I'm no longer interested in them being bartenders. Like I'm not receiving new people to come be like slutty bartenders because I just know that it won't be what we got back in the day.
Right.
At the beginning. You know what I mean? And Tom said, what does Erin Bagwell think of this whenever we
did this? Of her Sandoval connection.
And then I sent her the article on a text with me, her, and Tom. And I said, Tom is asking if you're aware of this. And he said, sending thoughts and prayers to Buffalo. I'm angry, sad, and confused. We then broke the news to Erin that said then, what? And then she's like freaking out. And Tom says, take time to process, take time to mourn. And then eventually Erin says...
It's like part of her identity is evaporated.
Erin says, I am not okay. And then Tom says, this is a lot. And then Erin says, no. And then he says, you shouldn't be okay. There was a lot of emotions happening.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. The only good part about this for me is that I feel like if they're going to do a reset, they really need Lisa there more. And I'm a huge
No, you love Lisa, and I'm like, Lisa needs to be off of the show. And
no. I feel like she's gonna need to be the anchor in a cast of newbies, and I'm thrilled at a resurgence for Lisa.
Every fan is mad. Like, no fan is like, yay! Like, all the people that are like Scandival people or that are like loving them, like they are like, huh? But then my question is, do all of them then go over to The Valley, which is a new show that they did that is like more of like 40-year-olds?
Maybe.
Which is what they are now. You know what I mean? And so it's like, I think maybe we have another show that most of them will then spin off into, and then we just get like another Vanderpump that we will see what will happen.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, the Real Housewives of New York rebranding, people are really shitting on it right now. So I'm sort of surprised that Vanderpump.
I know, especially right now. That's what I'm saying. Sorry, but.
So I'm surprised that they made this announcement when people are coming for Roni so hard right now, because this is another big franchise for them. So who knows? Let's get some better news. Kendrick Lamar with a surprise album this week.
The fans are happy, I think.
They're thrilled. There's like little Drake references in there.
He's getting ready for the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
he's like, I need a few new songs to throw in there to like get him going,
So smart, right? Because you'll never have an audience bigger than when you're at the Super Bowl.
100%.
So what a brilliant fucking move that no one saw coming. And I don't mind saying what we would refer to it as pulling a Beyonce. And he did it and no one knew. And good for you, Kendrick. Kendrick and Drake, I believe, are nominated for Best Feud at the Fixies this year. Am I right?
They sure are.
Perhaps he dropped the album when he knew he'd gotten nominated for Best Feud, because he knew he was going to be in the news because of fixing famous people. So he thought he'd put out some work really quickly. Good idea. Khalid. I haven't heard about someone being outed for a long time, but Khalid was outed. This is a modern celebrity who is gay, is an adult, was not out of the closet, and to make a long story short, basically was with someone who got bitter and outed him on social media. And so he said, yeah, I'm gay. What's up? What of it? And that was it. But still outing someone, I don't know. It's been a while.
Great. Don't love it. Don't love it.
No, not that
He has
way.
great music. I like his music. There's a few songs of his that I listen to and they're great. Like I like him.
Just know people were outed that way. In the meantime, I've spoken about Shawn Mendes 5,000 times. I've tried to pull Shawn Mendes out of the closet by his dick, but I am upset about Khalid because I don't know.
I don't like the scorned lover doing it either.
Yeah,
but also too, it's like the lover, like, can we please go public now so I can like be out in the world with you? And he's like, no.
Yeah, I'm sure there's
sad.
billion,
you know what I mean?
A
like
billion
that,
sides to that story, but it sucks. Shabuzi. I had to listen to this song, by the way.
What's happening?
It is tied Lil Nas X's Old Town Road for the most weeks at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. The Shabuzi song is called, this is literally a pop culture podcast. This has been the #1 song for 88 weeks. I don't know the name of it.
I've never heard it.
It's called A Bar Song, parentheses, Tipsy. I was listening to it when Chris joined the room here before we were.
Oh, that's what that was.
That was it. Yeah. So obviously people love it. If it's been the #1 song for 19 weeks, they just don't play it at the bars we hang out at.
No.
I guess am I being heterophobic?
No,
Good.
But just like.
JK straights. Congrats to Shabuzi. And if he has the song, if it's #1 again next week, he will have the most weeks at #1 in a row on Billboard.
Ever?
Lil Nas X, Old Town Road, a couple of years ago, beat, was it Mariah Carey and Boyz II Men, One Sweet Day? Yeah. And so he was #1 for 19 weeks. And if he's #1 again next week, it'll be for 20 weeks.
Wow.
And we just heard the song today for the first time.
We're in a hole. We're living under a rock.
Because we don't talk about Shabuzi. This is a Lisa Vanderpump podcast.
Yeah, literally.
Wendy Williams, not to change the mood, but her guardian released a statement today that just said she is incapable of living on her own.
No.
Just terrible. Yeah. She's not in a vegetative state, but she is incapable of living without a guardian at this point. And think what you will about Wendy Williams. I know she's a controversial person, but she is only 60 years old and she is basically incapacitated at this point. So that documentary came out 11 months ago, I want to say. It was in January, right, of this year.
Yeah.
And she has not gotten even a scintilla better. If anything, she's gotten worse. I don't believe there's a statement from her family, just from The Guardian. The Guardian, though, is actively involved in suing every person that was involved in that Wendy Williams documentary. Curious to see how that will pan out. But prayers up for Wendy Williams. You know, I don't like what she did to Whitney. I never will, but she is so iconic in so many other ways. And it's just terrible. 6
I know
years old is
you
not.
like always do like a disclaimer about her, like as
Because
if,
fuck
like,
her for what she did to Whitney, but I
No.
love her for everything else.
No, I know, but like I don't see anyone be like, I hate Wendy Williams on the internet.
Whitney fans don't like Wendy.
Sure. Okay.
For sure. Yeah. Oh, you know what? We were talking about Vanderpump earlier, and we forgot to mention that Schwartz and Sandy's, the Sandoval bar,
brother.
is about to go bye-bye.
Lisa's behind that, by the way.
You think that she's the reason it's closing?
I'd love to get a look at her books, is all I'm going to say.
I mean, does she just own the entire corner? Does she just own Santa Monica and
I don't think she
Robertson?
owns many of the things that she says that she does, is what I think. It is. I don't know. And I have no base. That is pure intuition and like just vibrations that I get. But I just like, there's too many weird things with her that like, oh, this one had to close and this had to what and this, and this, but like, there's always a sliding door of like closures happening over there in that world.
Well, if you want to go to Tom Sandoval's bar, you only have a few weeks left. They will be having a couple of events, and I think they're closing in December. So head on out to West Hollywood and drink that in if that's your desire. Speaking of that whole world and Beverly Hills and blah, 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 can we talk about Dorit Kemsley smoking a cigarette on camera last week?
Incredible.
I mean, it's so, you know, I'm older than you, so I grew up watching people smoke on television regularly.
Like all the time, every day, yeah.
Joan Collins would smoke like she wouldn't deliver a bitchy line without blowing smoke out of her mouth on Dynasty. It was pretty standard even in the 80s, but 90s and beyond, smoking a cigarette on camera, not frequent.
I even say, like, remember when you could smoke in a restaurant? Like, I remember you'd come home from like when it was like smoking or non, and then you would come home from those restaurants where like a lot of people went to smoke, and all of your clothing would just like reek of cigarettes.
Well, yeah. I'm old enough to remember when there was a smoking section on an airplane.
I know. I
that
think about
made
that
sense.
all the time. I think about that all the time.
So bizarre.
Yeah.
But she's just like stressed and driving down Mulholland or whatever. And she just lights up a cigarette and starts smoking. And the whole world was like, squeeze me?
We're in for such a season on that show. That premiere was incredible.
Yeah, Dorit's got claws out this time.
She's
too. This is a new Dorit. It's a new Dorit.
I think we're seeing the real Dorit for the first time is what I think it is.
Who in the group chat, was it you or Rebecca who sent us that Diane Keaton is releasing a holiday single?
For 1 second, I was like, wait, we didn't talk about Diane Keaton. It was going to like text you about it like earlier. And then I was like, no, he'll put it in there, I think. I think it's an album of Christmas songs.
What?
I think it was Rebecca that sent it. And you were like, what is this picture from like 25 years ago or something like that? And I was like, and shot from 9 million miles away and through 3 filters. Like,
it was shot through, not even a cheese, it was shot through a duvet cover, this photo of her on the cover. I love Diane Keaton, but how dare you when I looked at this photo? I never want to be accused of face tuning the shit out of myself. Anytime someone is like, where are your eye bags? I'm going to hold up Diane Keaton's picture. Like, talk to Diane Keaton.
Oh, God.
I have not listened to the song yet. I don't even know if it's out, but she better get it out soon. I mean, it's Thanksgiving.
And again, will it be featuring Woody Allen? Because I just know that it is. I just know. That it is.
On Backup? That would be hilarious.
On Backup with Sun Yi doing the cymbals or something. Doing the tambourine on the side.
Well, yeah, I mean, she joins Mariah and Cher and Darlene Love in the pantheon of holiday songstresses.
For what reason?
I don't know. But she seemed very excited about it on Instagram.
No, so am I. But like, we don't need this. And yet, will I listen to it all Christmas? Yes. It'll be my new jingle bells, the thing that you say that I do wrong.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle all the way.
Yeah.
Speaking of holiday songs, what a great segue. Thank you, Christopher. My holiday show is about to begin. It opens at Oasis in San Francisco this Sunday, December 1st. I could not be happier. After that, we go to Los Angeles and Palm Springs and Nashville. Please go to the Fixing Famous People Insta page, which links to my page, or go to my website, dominatory.com. I'm going to 10 cities. Would love to see you all there. And a special announcement for those of you who like meet and greets and meeting your favorite non-celebrities, such as myself and Christopher Michael DeRosa. Chris will be at the Philadelphia, DC, Boston, and New York performances of said holiday fagstravaganza. For those of you that aren't just content with me, but need a photo sandwiched between these two, highly recommend.
I will be there. I'm booked up. I got my trains. I got my hotel rooms.
That's right.
Tried to make Dominic go in a double suite with me. He wouldn't do it.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. First of all, the fact that they even have a 2-bedroom suite at the Residence Inn, it's disgusting.
And then I looked at it and I was like, oh no, is there not only one bathroom? Never mind, we can't do this. But there were 2 bathrooms. First of
all, I have... When you see the baggage that I'm traveling with you know what? Maybe because you're coming with me on the second leg of the tour, I won't have as many bags. I have a carry-on that's just full of like cosmetics, my red light therapy mask, like all like nonsense.
Sure. Just like things to have on the road.
Yeah. Nonsense.
I was going to say to you, do you need me to like offload a bag? Like, do you need to take a bag of like dirty clothes that I'll just bring home with me on the train, and then like you won't have as much with you by that time?
Everyone, I'm in Las Vegas now for Thanksgiving, so it's sort of a dry run with these bags because I'm going right to San Francisco from here. Every airport worker and bell person that's had to lift these bags has looked at me and asked if there was a child in there because I'm trying to.
So like, what do you have in here?
I'm trying to wear a different gay outfit at every stop, and so as such, my garment bag, weighs.
Your cup runneth over.
Beyond. Yeah, it's too much. It was a very ambitious. So I'm just handing out $20 bills. Anyone who wants to wheel these around, I'm like, take them.
You got to be greasing them left, right, and center. Like you're just greasing them
to take my bags,
just to exist in these places. But again, as I said, you can offload a bag to me.
I might do that. Before we leave, 2 things. First of all, have a wonderful Thanksgiving, everybody.
Or like you like to say, T-give.
T-give. Capital T, capital G-I-V. Have a wonderful T-give. Try not to talk about politics. Anytime someone brings up politics that you don't like, start talking about this podcast or my holiday show.
Yeah. You know what podcast I started listening to recently? It's called Fixing Famous People. And then just keep talking, and then everyone will have no choice.
Hey, I have an idea. Instead of talking about the election, why don't we as a family vote for the Fixie Awards?
Why don't we as a family gather around my cell phone and listen to this episode of these 2 gay men being idiots?
Coming up on this week's a la carte, one of Brangelina's children makes their first public appearance for the first time in many years and literally looks like a genetic splicing of Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. It's insane. Miley Cyrus being accused of copying a Bruno Mars song.
Oh, I'm ready to talk about that.
Jason Kelce getting a talk show. What's wrong with Jay Leno's face? And Tina Knowles, ever the soundbite machine. But you have to listen to the a la carte to find out she is a goddess. She is a goddess.
Speaking of soundbite machines, Dominic is a soundbite machine that often coins phrases like subway dust. And If you're still looking for gifts to give your family members, why not give them a subway dust candle? Why not give them a Long Island iced tree candle? If you're like, oh, I need to fill out my, Thanksgiving is everyone's like, what do you want for Christmas? I want a subway dust and Long Island iced tree package deal, 2 candles from Wax Cabin Candle Company. How about that? And I want the Patreon. You can gift the Patreon. We put it in our stories. It's in our bios. I'm telling you, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Okay.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We will be back fixing Fergie after these vital messages.
Banana and wave.
You know that feeling when your favorite brand really gets you? Deliver that feeling to your customers every time. Memorable moments like these are key to building your business and your brand. Klaviyo turns your customer data into real-time connections across AI-powered email, SMS, and more, making every moment count, so you can continue to build smarter, more meaningful relationships with your customers. Build smarter digital relationships with your customers and make every moment count with Klaviyo. Learn more at klaviyo.com/BFCM.
Designed for working professionals, Georgetown's Executive MBA features a hybrid format that delivers community on campus and convenience at home. Classes are held in person 1 weekend per month on our Washington, D.C. campus and 1 Saturday per month online, helping you balance work, life, and career advancement. Plus, you'll have the opportunity to participate in an international consulting project abroad with a global client. You'll get to choose from a variety of electives to customize your curriculum based on your interests and career goals. And enjoy the access only Georgetown provides in DC, with connections to industry experts, global leaders, and influential institutions. It's time to expand your understanding of how globalization shapes both global and local business strategy. Ready to build your legacy as a business leader? Earn Georgetown's Executive MBA. Explore the program at msb.georgetown.edu/EMBA-podcast.
Dominick, maybe you've heard of something, a little theater production called Hamilton.
Pause so I can Google that. Give me just 30 seconds. Yeah. Hey, Siri.
What's Hamilton? Go ahead. Maybe you haven't heard of Hamilton. Have you heard of something called Moesha?
Oh, now you're speaking my language.
Our guest has been a part of both of those cultural behemoths.
Oh, my
From
goodness.
the Tactful Pettiness podcast, please welcome Andrew Chappelle.
Woo!
I am so happy to be here with you all. My goodness, 2 legends of the community.
A lot, and now with the third, by the way, and a fourth of your co-host Cody Rigsby is also a pillar, of course.
Yeah,
right?
of the straight community.
Yeah.
My God, we'll never be able to lift all these names we've dropped. Andrew, it is so thrilling to meet you.
We're working on it. Now I'm venturing into the podcast world.
Mm-hmm.
And my goodness, how long have you guys had your podcast?
But
almost
2 years.
Almost 2 years.
2 years.
I did not realize how hard podcasts were.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Yeah,
There's
but
a lot of
I'm so sorry. You're
pre-production
used to it. You're used to it. Don't even do that to me. You did Hamilton 9 shows a week. You'll be fine.
Well, it's different though. It is different because I have not been on Broadway, but I am a performer, and I really thought it was going to be much easier to deliver the product, just because it's like, I'm funny, I'm smart, I can just get here and run of the, and it's just not. I listened to the first few episodes of this podcast, and I'm like, that queen is an idiot. I don't even know. I don't know who she is. Like, it's just different. It's a much different medium, like performance wise and info wise, than you think it's going to be until you're here.
Well, yeah. I mean, listen, you got to program a show. Once a week. And, for us, we don't like to skip. So Cody and I both travel a lot. And so we end up having to stack episodes and figuring out scheduling with guests. And what's going to come out that week? What do we want to beat? What do we want to get out of? But it has been a really fun passion project to do with my friend.
And what is the podcast about? Tell our listeners, pardon me.
So the podcast is the first, let's call it the first section is pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
And
much
then,
like ours.
And then the nucleus is sex, dating, relationship advice from your 2 gay best friends for a lot of those people that don't have those people in their life.
Sure. Yeah.
We take a listener question for our Get It Together section where we give them tactfully petty advice for their things that they write in on. And then basically our cherry on top is Scam of the Week.
Oh, love it.
So every week we have something that is basically on our nerves that we feel like is a scam, and we illuminate that for our listeners.
That's great. It sounds fun.
It's been fun. It's been very fun, and we are early in our journey. I think we're about 22 episodes in. So
good for you.
Yes.
Yeah, that was about the time when I realized, like, oh, this is an actual job. It's not a hobby. So,
it is a job.
And now this actually is our job. So
We love that.
it just
We love
became our
that.
job.
Speaking of jobs,
This can go
Speaking of-
anywhere. At which kind of the fork are you going to go down with? Speaking of jobs, with
speaking
Fergie?
of jobs, I think we need to transition to our girl.
We shall. Fergie.
Well-
Stacey Ferguson.
F to the ER, G the I the E, and
Here
can
she
nobody
is.
put it
Period.
down like me.
Our girl.
Our girl.
Our girl.
She loves to spell and she loves to count in her
She sure does.
in
She
her
sure
music.
does.
She's
And
got
so do
something
I.
to prove.
Yes,
She's
so do
proving
I.
this to someone.
So do I. If only Leah Michelle could do the same.
I mean, in Fergalicious, she spells Fergalicious, she spells her name, she spells tasty, and she spells delicious.
And doesn't she spell tasty wrong? She spells
T to the A to the S-T-E-Y, tasty.
It's T-A-S-T-Y.
She put an E in there.
Before we give into our background of Stacey Ferguson, at the top of each broadcast, we have our guest and Christopher guess the middle name of the person that we're trying to fix. So I will tell you this. Oh, do you already know it, Andrew?
I'm such a homosexual.
That you know her
Don't
name?
say it out loud.
Okay, I won't say it. I won't say it.
Okay.
I'll
you for
tell you
being
why
honest,
I know
though.
it later.
Okay.
Thank you for being honest. Christopher Michael DeRosa, I will tell you this. Stacey Fergie Ferguson, that is Stacey Ferguson is her legal first and last name. She is 49 years old. She was born in March of 1975. She was born in Hacienda Heights, California. Given these innocuous facts about her.
Wait, what year? What year was she born? 70 what?
75. She's
Okay.
49 years old. What? Oh, which is so funny because if she were born in 1949, she'd be 75 years old. What do they call
Okay,
that?
Dominic.
Write in and tell me. Anyway, she's 49 years old. What is Stacey Fergie Ferguson's middle name?
Stacey Lynn.
You're going to kick yourself. I
No.
promise you.
Is it
Ann.
Marie?
No, it's Anne. It's Anne.
God damn
It's just
it.
like it's in the Lynn family.
Stacey
Ann.
Ann Ferguson.
Yeah,
And here's how I know her middle name.
I cannot wait.
Because she shares the same middle name as Patti LuPone.
That's the gayest mnemonic device I have ever
Yeah,
heard in
wow,
my life.
wow.
Congratulations, Andrew. You're the gayest of the three of us.
Well, get ready, Dominic.
I'm a huge Patti LuPone fan. This is my dog. Her name is Patti LuBone. Her name is Patty Ann LuBone. So when we come home, we say, hi, Patty Ann. Hi, Patty Ann.
Oh my God. Let me ask you, does your dog complain to the dog next door that he can hear the music coming through the wall or no?
Is that not such a wild gag?
I kind of went after her a
is.
little bit about it. I went after her a little bit. I was like, all right, enough. You're punching down, Patty. Like, don't
She's
do
doing
this.
the very much, and she's enjoying this brand
loves
of
it.
hers, and
She loves it.
she's really not going to stop. It's just going to get worse.
But here's the thing. If we were going to fix anybody's career, right? And they had these tendencies to be this way, we would always tell them to lean in. And she's leaning in.
All the way, she's bent over. She
She's bent over,
arrived
yeah.
that way. She can't even. It's too late. Has she, by the way, said anything publicly since Keisha Lewis released that video? I don't think that Patty has said anything, right?
I don't think so. I think
Or
she knew to
responded?
let it lie. I think she knew not to say anything else.
Yeah.
So did she actually go to their theater? Is that what happened?
No,
She's
she
like-
contacted the producers
Oh.
and was like, it's too loud, blah, blah, blah. So, and that was sort of, I think Keisha Lewis took issue with that it was just like a performer contacting the producer and blah, blah, blah. And they did lower the cues from what I understand.
I bet they did. I mean, listen, that's just the design flaw of that
Yeah,
block
sure.
of Broadway.
Well, of
Those
course.
theaters are
Yeah,
sharing.
those theaters were not built for, electricity, really.
Yeah,
They
like,
weren't
let
built for anything.
those theaters were built for Calcutta and
Yeah.
like Carousel,
Right,
you know?
right. Not these high tech. Sure.
Carousel.
Yeah. They weren't
Also-
built for Jay-Z and Alicia Keys to have their like bass bumping.
Yeah.
Next
Sure.
door to a 2-person play. with
Geriatric
no
play.
music
Yeah,
in it.
where
Right,
they
exactly.
where they do a staring contest for a whole scene. Like that's
Yeah.
like,
And like how quiet can we make this apartment? And
Dear God.
let's be real. Any apartment with Patti LuPone in it is not very quiet.
no.
Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised Hell's Kitchen didn't complain about how loud Patti LuPone was being in The Roommate. That's the story right here.
That would be great. That would be great.
Obviously, Tony producers, I don't know if you're listening. If you don't have Patty and Keisha co-presenting Best Musical, that is a missed opportunity.
No, they need to present Best Sound Design. That's what they need to present.
A winner. That is a winner.
Incredible.
And they should start with Keisha talking and Patty needs to tell her, actually, it's a little loud.
And they should play it up as for the first time in Tony history, that award will be presented on the actual broadcast rather than at 6:02.
Exactly.
When you can only watch it on Channel 13.
Yeah, the previous day.
All right, let's get back to Stacey and Fergie Ferguson.
Please.
You know, I have a friend of a friend who I should have called before this. His name is Jerry, and he was a child actor in a little Saturday morning kids do called Kids Incorporated with Stacey Ferguson back when Stacey and I were children, which is a generation before you all were children. So I don't remember her as being particularly any sort of child star. I mean, I feel like I only knew who she was when she was a black-eyed pea.
That's an African-American-eyed pea. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Oh, have we changed it officially?
She was definitely like a child star. Whatever this Kids Incorporated was like a bootleg Disney Channel, like Disney, like Mickey
It was
Mouse
absolutely
Club,
that.
right?
It was definitely that sort of moment.
Yeah. So she didn't really have like, oh, I was a child star and now this. Like, we just know her as Fergie and the Black Eyed Peas, mostly, in my opinion.
Yeah, she wasn't the breakout star like Ryan Gosling and
Britney.
Justin Timberlake,
Yeah.
Britney, Christina.
Yeah.
Now, neither one of you probably remember the girl group Wild Orchid, do you?
Nope.
No.
She was a member of that girl
Okay.
group. They released their self-titled album, Wild Orchid. It charted at number 153 on the Billboard 200, which might play into why you don't know who they
What year
are.
was this?
That was in 97. But the group that she was in, Wild Orchid, actually opened for Cher's Do You Believe tour in 1999 alongside Cyndi Lauper. I believe they traded off as opening acts. And
That's
also
big.
Wikipedia, I think it's the Believe tour, not the Do You Believe, but whatever. I could be wrong about that. But
Yeah, just believe, yeah.
But
That's
was
huge.
in the
That's
90s.
a big get for Wild Orchid, and I'm so proud of them for that.
I will back that up. I just wish that why don't we
Knew who they
know
were.
who they are? Like, why?
Yeah, I have a feeling maybe there was some sound issues in Minneapolis or something, and they, just had to quit. Or maybe there was drama. Maybe there was drama in the group.
I know. I wonder if
Lupone.
anyone else.
It was
I wonder
Lupone.
if anyone else famous was in that, or if it was she became like the person.
It was Fergie, Helen Mirren, and Kathy Bates, if I'm reading the right article.
CBS's new Matlock herself. Yes.
The name of the band is Mild Orchid. I think I said it wrong.
But this is common for a lot of our pop girls. Like, Britney Spears was in a band. I mean,
Is that right?
She was in like a
I never knew that.
It didn't
she
go
was in a
anywhere.
band that nobody cared about. And I feel like if you're a singer, if you're a gorgeous girl, the waist is in, the face is even just an 8.
Yeah.
Like, you're trying to get in a girl group at that era in music. And I feel like if it didn't hit, they would jump.
Yeah. And they just kept trying. You know what I mean? They just kept being like, new group. And if they hit, it was great. And then if not, you got thrown to the wayside.
Yeah.
Now, this I didn't know. In the 5 minutes of research we did about Fergie, I realized that the Black Eyed Peas were already a group. They were, in fact, recording their third album when Will.i.am invited Fergie to try out for a song. And that's how she then became a member of the group.
Which, smart.
I mean, it could be inferred that Fergie made the Peas the Peas, because I don't know who they were until they came out with their biggest hits, which had Fergie on them.
Like, do we have any other group? Like, today, is there a band / musical group / whatever that is like different genders, different races, all these people? Like, they were kind of a little bit of like a Benetton ad of a group. And like, it was at the time when we like really fucking loved that. And it like made them really cool. And like, everyone had their own little part and they like,
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, I feel like ABBA started that, and like the Mamas and the Papas.
Sure. Yeah, but
and like S Club 7.
Yes, love them.
And then, the Black Eyed Peas was the modern version of that, business plan.
Like, and I like, even just think about like, what are their, like, hey mama, that beat that make it, like that song, absolute fucking banger. Like even today.
Absolutely. Like, Black Eyed Peas, that is everybody's wedding playlist.
Yeah.
That will get all of the generations up out of their seat after the main course before the cake is cut.
Remember, wait, what was the song? They ended up using it as the thing on the hills when they would tease to commercial. It would be the song that would play you off into the commercial. I wonder if I take you home. Oh, Don't Funk With My Heart.
Don't Funk With My Heart was a big one.
Good ass song. You know what I mean? We don't hear it at all anymore. But
an effective message.
By the way, Don't Funk With My Heart won a Grammy for Best Rap Performance by a duo or group. So... And let's not forget about My Humps, which I, until today, thought was a Fergie song, but it's a Black Eyed Peas song. My Humps, My Lovely.
My Humps was a cultural reset.
Yes, it really was.
It absolutely was.
It was playing everywhere. It was playing. You'd be walking on the street and hear it come out of a car. You walk into Chipotle, it was playing in Chipotle. You go to the house party, it's playing at the house party, and you're going to the gym and it's playing on your iPod Touch.
And let's think about what this song is. It's a horn at the beginning that's and then it's truly
I haven't heard iPod Touch in a minute. I apologize for breaking character here.
That was the time period.
I love my iPod. I think I still have my iPod Touch somewhere. Probably can't even turn on anymore, but it was truly attached to me. It's a horn, and then it's a cappella music. They're they're doing whatever how I don't even know how to do any of that shit. They're beatboxing the song, and then she just sings about her boobs for the entire song. And likens them to all kinds of things.
If I had titties, I'd be singing about my titties all day long.
My lovely lady lumps.
Check it out.
Oh, my boyfriend and I do My Humps as a duet at karaoke all the time.
Oh, and see, my go-to karaoke song is Fergalicious.
Fergalicious is an incredible karaoke song. We're jumping ahead, though. I still want to stay in Black Eyed Peas for 2 more minutes.
Go ahead.
Because some of these songs, Where Is the Love? Every 15-year-old was where is the love? We're the downtrodden. We are this. Where is the love?
For a brief moment in world history, there was peace. When that song
because of that song.
No, the Black Eyed Peas got Obama elected and kept him there for 8 years, as far as I'm concerned. Our most peaceful time. Our nation's most peaceful time. There's a lot of Fergie and Black Eyed Peas woven into each other. Yeah. And again, this morning when I was reading the wiki page, I was sort of shocked about most of the stuff I know from her is Black Eyed Peas stuff. And I thought that it was solo Fergie stuff, but it wasn't, just because she was fronting the band. But they were they kept getting bigger and bigger and then just sort of dropped off the face of the earth pretty quickly. But the Boom Boom Pow era was, ubiquitous is the word.
There's also, I feel with any band, if a band really has good synergy, which they really did. Fergie's voice just fits so well with that style of music because she's got a powerhouse set of chords.
I think she does too. Despite things we will get to, obviously. Yeah.
But she uses it well.
But great. She's a good singer, in my opinion.
She has that one of the boys kind of vibes. She's not she doesn't feel like a girly girl to me.
No.
And so having her there with all those guys, I really bought it. She felt like she had a thick skin. She felt like she could crack jokes with them. And then she had this kind of rock and roll voice and could rap. Yes. She had the swag. She had the swag that really, it's obvious because they did so well, but it really worked.
Well, then we get to the Duchess. She goes solo. I'm 16 at the time. I'm getting my driver's license, and a little song called Big Girls Don't Cry comes on the radio, and my whole life changes. I'll tell you that.
And I bet you started crying.
Oh, I sure. Big girls did cry in my car.
You were just a little girl then, though.
Yes, I sure was. But that, not for nothing, the Duchess, it doesn't get the respect it deserves for having almost every single one of the songs as a #1 hit.
I could write a book on this.
Yes,
you should. I think that the Duchess is actually one of the most underrated debut albums from a pop girl
ever.
Period. And do you know why it is? Because I know why.
No, tell us.
So if we're really going to fix famous people on this podcast, my advice to fix Fergie is that she acquire a time machine and get in it. and released this album, The Duchess, in the year 2005. Because in 2006, 13 days before she released The Duchess, Beyonce Giselle Knowles-Carter released B-Day.
Yeah. Wow.
Which was Beyonce's sophomore album.
Yeah.
And Beyonce had not reached her full strength yet.
Wow.
She had just come out with her debut album in, I think, 2003, Beyonce's debut album came out.
Yep,
and
3 or 4. Yeah.
And it was 2 years with no Beyonce. Also, earlier that year in 2006, Rihanna released her sophomore album. And Rihanna started gaining all her powers. So if Fergie had just simply created The Duchess a year earlier.
But like, I don't think that, I know what you're saying, but like that album was on par with these other albums, in my opinion. Do you not agree? Do you think
mean quality wise or like listening?
I'm saying like listening, like every single one of, okay, what's on The Duchess? London Bridges, great fucking song, is all over everywhere. Big Girls Don't Cry, beautiful song everywhere. What was the one that was
Clumsy?
Clumsy.
Honey,
great.
You got me tripping, stumbling,
thinking, stumbling. Like, incredible song. Fergalicious. There is not a song, you can't name a song that's been come out in the last 10 years that is like Fergalicious.
Honey, Glamorous? Featuring
Glamorous.
Yes. No.
I'm not hearing I'm not seeing overshadowed. Do you know what I'm saying? Not to go up against you, but I'm not seeing that she was overshadowed by Beyonce.
Okay, well, hold my beer for a second.
Here we go.
Walk with me. Here we go.
Because let's get into the aforementioned album that I mentioned. Hold on now. It's B-Day.
Well, B-Day had like Irreplaceable on it, which
B-Day had Deja Vu, Get Me Bodied, Upgrade You, Ring the Alarm, Freakum Dress,
it was a
Green
machine.
Light, Irreplaceable.
Yeah.
Check on It.
It was a machine. It truly was a machine.
I agree, but it's like we all still heard on MTV every day all of Fergie's songs as well.
I know, but we live in America where there can be one person on top.
Correct. You are right.
And 13 days. Listen, I was in college when this happened, and all we listened to was B-Day. We did not listen to The Duchess. The Duchess, I would hear it on, and also, was it the Sex and the City movie that used a bunch of her
I think
music?
Probably. It makes sense. Yeah.
Fergie had that opening song of Sex and the City, but then they also used some of her other songs in the movie, which is a huge get for Fergie.
No, huge. No, but I just think, to me, it was like all over the place. Like, I don't feel like it was, like people know, like if you play any of the songs on The Duchess, like everyone knows all the words. So she has The Duchess. It's, say what you want, in my opinion, it was extremely commercially successful. It was, the numbers were there.
Okay. Yeah, they are.
Then she goes back to the Black Eyed Peas and they make that album, The End, E-N-D, The Energy Never Dies, which has I Got a Feeling on it, which becomes a humongous hit. Humongous.
Yeah, she bought a third house in the Hollywood Hills with just the residuals from that song.
But I don't blame her. Also, a very heady time for Stacey Ann, because that was 2009 when The End came out. 2009, also the year that she appears in the movie 9, if you recall.
I forgot she was in it.
Yep. And I will say this. The movie, to me, was like a solid 6.5, 7. Her performance, to me, by far the best performance in the film.
Really?
I felt like she lit it on fire when she was there. I thought she did such a good job with her number and with the very brief acting moments that she had on screen, because it's the smallest of the female roles in there, but definitely like the most energetic musical number. And I guess because I wasn't expecting much, because she was the woman who talks and spells her way through pop hits.
And like
I
peed her pants on stage once. Yeah.
But she got up there. She screamed, "Be Italian." I mean, I already was Italian. I was more Italian when she sang it at the end.
You just grew foreskin as you were watching her performance. Yeah.
She was great. She was really, really good in it. And she, held her own up against, such little names as Judi Dench and Nicole Kidman. It was another reason you sort of went into it thinking that she was going to be a bit of a joke and be overpowered, but she was great. she was great in it. And I'm thoroughly surprised that she didn't do more with that part of her career, unless she has and I'm unaware of it, but certainly nothing as high profile.
No, but I think the
Nine.
movie was not well received.
It wasn't. It didn't
like,
get nominated for Best Picture. It was definitely not heralded. Like everyone thought it was going to be the next Chicago, and it wasn't.
no.
Yeah. Chris, your reaction tells me you disagree. Did you not think her performance was strong?
Oh no, I'm just shocked. I never saw it. So I was just shocked. And I never
saw it
heard
either.
anyone say she was really great in it. So I just never thought about it again. So
Yeah,
I'll
never forget how good she was in it, because it just, when you're so surprised about something,
you're like, oh, she actually really can do this. Like, this isn't a joke that she's in this. Yeah. Like
you'll probably look at it and think like, this is okay. But if you're going into it thinking like, I'm here to see Nicole and Judy, and then she steals it for you, I'm like, okay, girl.
Yeah.
Listen, having no or low expectations going into something,
it's great, isn't it?
The best thing ever. I go see shows in New York. I like to know as little as possible.
Yeah.
I don't want to read anything. I don't want to know who's in the cast. I want to sit down and be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But Fergie is an incredible performer. I was lucky enough to watch Fergie perform at the Gay Pride Pier Dance here in New York in 2016.
Wow.
And I remember all the gays going in kind of a little joking about it. Like,
yep.
Okay, Fergie.
How dare they, by the way?
Fergie's performing, like whatever. We're not there to see Fergie perform anyway. We're there to like look at the sunset, make out, and dance to, the gay unsa music. When I tell you, Fergie Ann Ferguson, Stacey Ann Fergie Ferguson, Lupone, she turned us out. She turned us completely out.
I will back that up. I was there, and I will be honest, in the days that we've known we were doing Fergie, I have to be honest, I forgot that we watched her headline at the Pier until you just spoke it back into life. She was very good. She was very, very good.
She came guns blazing, and I really respect, because something that really irks me in the entertainment industry is there's a lot of charlatans, there's a lot of fakes.
Yeah.
Especially now with the new age of social media, where everybody can be famous that has a phone. You don't often see people who can hold a stage, who can sing their music flawlessly, who are showmen.
Yeah,
right?
who like are really a real pop star.
And she is that. I mean, even if you take her performance on the Today Show when she was singing Barracuda,
incredible,
doing the back walkovers at 9 a.m.
It was the next thing I was going to bring up. Never, ever forget the best meme ever is when she's like doing Barracuda for no reason. It's like
no reason, a cover.
No reason at all. And she just keeps going, whoa, 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 whoa. And then does like a flip. Whoa, whoa, whoa,
whoa. And then again. And let's keep in mind, she's in a pair.
Do you know where you are?
Yeah, she is in a pair. It is 9 a.m. The woman is in black leather pants and a secretary's cerulean blue sweater that is buttoned just one button on the top. She is writhing sexually on the ground, pussy slamming. The cameramen turn to see the audience, and who is right in her face but 4 small children.
Yes.
She's she's a lunatic. That's what I also like about her is like, I remember back in the day, like she was performing and she like peed her pants, and Perez Hilton, like,
oh my God, remember that?
Had the pictures of her like with her soiled pants.
I miss that, but I love someone who's willing to pee in precarious places.
No, she's giving it all for the performance. She's like, I have to pee right now. Doesn't matter. I'm performing. I'm going to piss myself.
Well, that brings us though to the moment, right? Like, why are we here? Where did it all go wrong? At what point did she go in that turnstile and come out?
I think one thing was they did the Super Bowl. If we don't forget,
I remember very well.
They did the Super Bowl. People did not like it. I remember it being like not loved as a performance.
Why did people not like it?
I don't know. I remember watching it, but I don't remember. It just like wasn't great. A lot of people, I thought it was fine. A lot of people did not enjoy it.
I did too. And I don't know that I'm like remembering them not loving it, but I mean, I don't know if it's not a classic one, but I don't remember having a problem with it. I just remember
it was just like not, it wasn't Lady Gaga.
A standout.
It wasn't, do you know what I mean?
Prince,
it wasn't like, it wasn't like a big one that was like, wow, this was amazing. And then I remember she was with Josh Duhamel and they were in the tabloids every fucking day for like years.
Right. Yes, their marriage was troubled and report. Right. They were also on Perez a lot because of the state of their marriage.
And remember, he like hated her because like, didn't he get in a fight? Remember Perez got in a fight with like their manager?
Oh, that's right.
And that's what he called them all faggots. He was like, you guys
you're
like in Fergie, you're a faggot, bitch. Remember he said that? He did a video.
Perez said that to them, right? And that was, there was a big cultural moment where it was like, is it okay for a gay man to refer to people who aren't gay as that and blah, blah, blah. Like that. I remember this now. Yeah.
Well, if Perez Hilton can be redeemed after calling Fergie a faggot, why can't Azealia Banks call people?
Okay, don't even start.
You better stop it. You better stop
There's
it.
worse shit, by the way, that I'm not going to say here. But
I guess my question is, where in the time-space continuum was she using crystal meth habitually?
I remember her being like, I think she was an addict before she was famous.
Oh, so that's way before.
Yes,
I think that's like before she was famous. Am I wrong?
Okay, well,
you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Well, then let me take this moment to congratulate her because that is so, I have no experience with that. However, having a substance abuse issue like that and having this kind of a comeback, going into another band, becoming a solo artist, being in A-list Hollywood movies, like she turned her life around.
Yeah.
So if she can come back from being a crystal meth addict and do all this, she can come back now.
She can. Yeah.
Because she's come back. She's done harder things than that.
And then, of course, after she goes back and forth with Josh Duhamel forever, they get divorced. He's like always shitty to her or something. It's not even worth going into it, but I just remember them always being in the press about, are they together, are they not?
Hats. It was too many trucker hats in that relationship.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, in the midst of all this too, like in the midst of her troubled marriage and all this stuff, she did release a second album.
She did.
The Duchess Part 2.
Yeah, it was called Double Duchess. And I'm not going to lie to you, it was fucking good.
Was it really?
It got like no
I don't know.
at all.
There's a single called MILF. Is
MILF
that the
Money?
first single?
Yeah, MILF Money. I got that MILF
Why
Money.
can I not remember this?
It was the one single.
That long ago.
And she had all these celebrities in the music video. And
now I remember.
Yes.
Now I remember.
And again, it's kind of that newest Ariana Grande album where it's like, this single is kind of like the worst song on the album. There were like a lot of really good songs on it, but she threw out like this one that was like, Ciara was in the music video. And like, I think like Kim Kardashian was in the music video. And like all these other like stars were in the music video to be like her squad, you know what I mean? Kind of a thing. And like, Black Eyed Peas like disbanded a million years before she did Double Duchess. And even when she did it, it was this like thing that we heard about forever and ever and ever. And then she finally put it out and then no one listened to it.
I think some of that is negligible as well. Cause it was a little bit after Double Duchess. I think that will.i.am, like, I think the Black Eyed Peas are still together, but Fergie left the band. And I don't know if she left or if they kicked her out, but that announcement of her leaving was made the same year that she put the nail in the imaginary coffin that puts her on this episode is the 2018 NBA All-Star Game.
Sure.
Obviously.
Not her shining vocal hour.
No, but we're in epitaph territory with this because it was so monumental in its, if you want to say bad, fine, let's say bad. It was just so unusual that it sort of supersedes so many other wonderful things about her career. Many more people know about that All-Star Game than know MILF Money. I assure you.
100%.
However, to go viral in this day and age at that level is so hard. Like, that was a truly viral moment. And a friend of mine had a viral moment. Angela Bassett did the thing.
Yes!
Yeah, we know.
And when I saw that performance, I texted Ariana and I said, Ari, I don't know how you're feeling about the way this is being received, but this is a huge moment. I think that you should record that and make it into a dance.
God, yes.
Like, you need to put a beat to it and release that song for people. People will love it. They're obsessed with it.
Yeah.
And I feel like in these moments, I don't know how Fergie would have leveraged that viral moment, but I just felt like it kind of came and went. The internet did what it did with it, but there's something she could have done. She could have maybe tried to go on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, and
that's money left on the table. Right, for sure. Because Ariana did, I don't know if she recorded a dance mix. I received several of them with her looped into other tracks, which I'm happy to send you both if you are unfamiliar with them. But she also has gone on other broadcasts and referenced that moment.
Yeah, it was like at the next awards. She
the next the Tony Award she hosted after that. She absolutely sort of capitalized on it, and just by referring to it and just admitting, I don't think she's ever thought, because from what I understand, everyone in the room with Ariana DeBose saw it very differently than anyone who watched on television. Like supposedly everyone in the room was eating it up and saw no issue with it. It happens. I mean, sometimes stuff is just different live. The Fergie thing though is undeniable. Like in or out of that room, you're like, what's happening right now?
And they cut to like someone, wasn't it? Like, I don't even know who basketball players are, but one of them, it was like laughing at her. Like it was bad. And I mean, it was terrible. It was like, it was a horrible. Like it was, yeah. And I think that like she's too basketball, but she's too famous to have that bad of a performance that's like that big. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like it's rough,
And listen, that's a hard song. That's a bitch of a song to sing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And you're being compared to Whitney Houston and literally everyone else on the planet when you take that song under your wing. And there has to be some sort of backstory. Like, did she just find out that she was no longer in the P's anymore she needed to make a mark?
No, she said like her thing was like, I was just trying to do something different with it. And it was like, and I do, when you listen back and really pay attention, like you do hear what she's trying to do. She's just not doing it well.
It's that I think it could have been a huge hit.
Yeah.
I think that two things happened. One, I think she started in a key a little higher than what she practiced.
What she should have been doing, yeah.
And her nerves, along with the high key, kind of got the best of her. Two, she's singing that song in a corset.
Yeah.
That's not a song that should be sung in a corset. It's
an interesting
You
point.
need to have full access to all of your breath support. Because she's got a big voice.
She is. She's a belter.
She's got a big voice.
She really is a belter.
I feel for her and many women in this industry because they have such standards that they've got to hold. She had to be in the highest heel. She had to have her waist be as small as possible. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Because here's the thing. If she hadn't have looked incredible, people would have been like, why is she in that moo-moo? Well, she should have done this.
She's so fat now. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, you're right.
Horrible double standard that's placed on the women in our society, especially in the entertainment industry. And I think that was just kind of one of those moments that just kind of got the best of her. However, what a payoff. I mean, everybody knew her name. Everybody was talking about her. But
she kind of hasn't done anything with it. Like she really hasn't done anything in the last.
She sort of evaporated after that. Her marriage to Josh Duhamel ended the following year. I believe in court papers, all Josh had in his divorce was, did you hear the Star Spangled Banner? Period. And that was it. And those were, I'm joking. But their marriage, I'm sure, was already over by the time she sang that, which might have been where all that pain was coming from in her voice.
Yeah, true.
But they did get divorced the following year. Now, she's another one, like our old friend Jessica Simpson, who, when you don't hear from her, it doesn't mean she's not doing shit. Yeah. She had some handbag lines with Kipling. These are in these quiet years, but performance-wise, she's involved in a winery project with her dad. Like, there are other, she's making money. You know, she's not receiving, there's no GoFundMe set up for her.
No, so I'm not worried. I'm not worried about her bag. I know the bag is secured. Right. But what we want,
it's just about putting her back in the spotlight.
We want our girls to have their light.
Yes.
And Hollywood is such a crowded place.
Yeah.
Like look at everything that Jennifer Lopez had to do for her comeback, and which failed miserably.
Clawed tooth and nail, and then look what happened.
And I think there is a lesson in that, right? Which is just kind of like gracefully allowing your time to come again.
That gracefully part is that's a big part of it, and that's where Jennifer sort of fucked up, because it was a little too. I mean, it was the project was literally called "This Is Me Now." She's like, slow down for a second. It's like, we already know who you are. It was too much. And again, if a man were to do that, everyone would just be like, look at this asshole, and then buy tickets to it and not talk about it. But it isn't what we do. It isn't what Chris and I do, unfortunately. Most of the people we talk about on this podcast are women because we love them, really.
Mhm.
You know, the other thing too is like Fergie had, then was it Jack Harlow had a song and he sampled Glamorous, which was like a sample of like an older like 70s song also. And like that kind of brought her back into the zeitgeist a little bit because like all the young Gen Z and Gen Alpha people were like discovering Fergie's music for the first time because it was like a sample of Glamorous. And so like she has these like little windows where she can like bounce back and she doesn't grab them. Like that's another part of this problem is like she does have like she could have like made a fucking huge joke about the Star Spangled Banner and like it could have been hilarious and we would have been like, she's hilarious. But instead she like put her tail between her legs and like ran screaming.
But I do think, Christopher, are we at the arena now?
We are at the arena.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids instantly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely, and parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Sign up for Greenlight today at greenlight.com/Wondery. That's greenlight.com/Wondery.
Your business deploys AI pilots everywhere. But are they going anywhere? Or are they stuck in silos, exhausting resources, unable to scale? Maybe you don't need hundreds of AI pilots, you need a holistic strategy. IBM has 65,000 consultants with Gen AI expertise who can help you design, integrate, and optimize AI solutions. So you're not just deploying AI, you're scaling it across your business. Learn more at ibm.com/consulting. IBM. Let's create.
Okay. One of my pitches, it's so unoriginal, but I want her to do it. This is not my actual pitch, but this is the one that I'm saying no to. A memoir. Her writing a memoir would be great. I think she should just do that in general, but that's not my pitch.
Look at Andrew's face.
But like she needs to like I would love to read about the Black Eyed Peas becoming famous.
Who's going to read that?
Me.
First of all, Andrew, you would buy that. Let's not.
Yes.
Don't
buy
pretend.
that.
Stop it. Would you take it from a publicist for free and read it right away?
I think it would just sit on my shelf.
I want her and the Black Eyed Peas, honestly, to do some sort of like retrospective, like docu-series about their career.
Now that could be something.
That to me is like interesting, like talking about like the cultural time that they did their music.
Sure.
And like their song, I've Got a Feeling This Night's Gonna Be a Good Night. Like there is no song on right now by anyone that we like that's the messaging of that song. Everything is sad. Everyone's upset. Everyone's mad at someone. Like there's something about their music that is so interesting. And then her solo music, like tracking their trajectory as stars in a docu-series is really, I almost was going to pitch like a 20-year anniversary of The Duchess and have that be a docu-series, but that's not enough. I think the Black Eyed Peas with Fergie is like doing this docu-series. And then from that, they do like, not a 20th anniversary because it's not 20 years, but like a reunion world tour where they like go all over the planet and play like all the hits that we love. Okay. Like I went to like Missy Elliott and Sierra and Busta Rhymes together. And it was like incredible to go and hear all of Sierra's songs and all of Missy Elliott's songs that like I grew up like learning the choreography to. Like they could do that on an even bigger scale. And like we would all go 1,000,000%. That is a fix in itself.
Now here's my pitch. I respect Chris's pitch. I like the Black Eyed Peas. However, Stacey needs her own turn in the spotlight. And that's been the problem, is that every time she is going solo, something is taking away from it. She's 13 days after Beyonce's release. And the Duchess was a behemoth, but it's never considered that culturally for a million reasons. The Beyonce thing that Andrew pointed out earlier sort of makes the most immediate sense to me for why. Because every song on that album being a single and a hit single, it doesn't make sense that she's not bigger. Being in the movie 9, I felt like was a real, when I saw it, I remember thinking that this is a moment that's going to transform her. But then the movie wasn't well reviewed, and it's in an ensemble with names much bigger than her. And she was just sort of the afterthought. And then as she's trying to build herself up in her post Black Eyed Peas, post divorce universe, she decides to go out on a limb with the most popular song in history and fucks it up in front of a live planetary stage.
Everyone, like truly every person alive.
Someone needs to speak to all this woman's strength. She doesn't need a mentor because she knows what the fuck she's doing and she knows what her talents are. She needs to be like escorted into superstardom. So I started quaking when Andrew talked about Ryan Murphy, because I've said before on this podcast that Taylor Sheridan is sort of like the heterosexual Ryan Murphy now. Like he's about to just be producing everything. I sort of want her to play a character where she is a singer. I want to see her acting. I want to see her singing, and I want to see her headlining it. And I feel like Taylor Sheridan, I am not the audience for his shows, but I feel like she would be, and that he could develop something with her where she's playing like a Susie Dunn, like the Michelle Pfeiffer role in Fabulous Baker Boys, where she's like an out of touch singer or a middle-aged singer who's trying to make a comeback, or someone who maybe was just a background singer or an opening act and never sort of hit and doesn't want to give up as she turns 50. And she is turning 50. Shades of sort of what Pamela Anderson is doing now with this new movie, The Showgirl, coming out. So something sort of like that, where she gets to use her talent. She can belt and she can act and she can just, someone needs to give her this project that ties up all of the missed opportunities. I'm nominating Taylor Sheridan.
I just typed him into Google. What a hottie.
Oh, he is
attractive.
Yeah,
he's so rugged.
Despite his horse prancing that he does on Yellowstone. Yes, he is very rugged.
He is the moment now for sure.
That is a man who has never touched a bottle of moisturizer.
No, sure not.
To his benefit, I might add. Which is also rare.
Honestly,
it leans into the ruggedness of him.
And I feel like he could do her a lot of good. I think they could collaborate together, play to her strengths, and do,
remember that movie Country Strong, where like Gwyneth Paltrow played like a mom and like a.
No, is it recent?
It's like a while. No, it's like old. Nashville-esque. Like remember like Connie Britton in Nashville?
Sure. Like but that, it's got to be just Fergie and the world that surrounds her, not an
Fergie
ensemble piece.
Yes, I like this idea. She needs a complete rebrand.
Yeah.
She needs to be unrecognizable in this series.
Yeah.
It needs to be like a comeback story of some famous singer, I don't know who, that was really big and then fell on hard times and claws their way back to the fame. Like,
yes, it's A Star Is Born, but no one's usurping and no one kills themselves.
Yeah, it's just her.
She needs a Mariah Carey and Precious moment, but a bigger part.
Yes. She needs to be Mariah Carey and Precious, but playing Precious and also singing.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
There we go.
So she needs to be Effie White.
Yes, she does.
Yeah. My God.
And that's my pitch. So those are the two you have to choose from, Andrew.
Okay, so Chris, I really did like your pitch until I heard Dominick's pitch. Because what I like about Dominick's pitch is that it centers Fergie in the narrative.
Sure. Yeah, correct.
Your pitch centered the Black Eyed Peas, and I'm not invested in the Black Eyed Peas. I'm invested in Stacey. And I can see it so vividly. I can see the billboards. I can see the promo on Netflix. I can see the color grading in which it's been.
Yeah, no, sure.
Edited,
Yeah, the color grading. How dare you?
And I can also feel the energy on set. I can see the acting coaches on set bustling around and talking about, like, did you talk to her about the scene? Okay, yeah, I talked to her a little bit about it. Did she have breakfast? And they're like, no, she hasn't had breakfast. Okay, great. We need to shoot it before she eats. We need her to be really, really agitated for this scene. I can feel that.
Are two producers in a corner saying, I knew we should have hired Connie Britton for this? Are they? Are there two of them there?
Because they should be, right? That's like, Dominic, that's like part of the pitch is that you should.
And she hears them and she just like loses it.
Yeah.
But then she later finds out that they were rolling the whole time.
Yeah.
And using it in the show.
And she gets an Emmy. Yeah, she gets an Emmy from that performance where she's screaming at a real person and being a monster. Yeah, incredible.
Exactly.
Are we making her over for this physically as well? How much of a rebrand are we doing? Like, obviously, she's only going to be known as Stacey Ferguson now for this marquee project. Like, we can't call her Fergie anymore.
Oh, I don't even think so. I think she is Fergie, like how it's like just Gaga. It's not even Lady Gaga anymore. It just says Gaga.
What if she just goes as Anne Ferguson?
Or like Anne Ferguson, like
and introducing S. Anne Ferguson, and it's fucking Fergie.
Wow.
I think really, if we want this to take, she needs to be like Patricia Arquette in Escape at Dannemora, gain the weight. She needs to be like Charlize Theron in Monster, gain the weight, do something with the skin, because Fergie's so gorgeous, right?
Yeah.
And I just feel like I want her to transform completely. I want her to go to a dark place.
Can she get beautiful over time, though? Like, by the end of season 2, she needs to like have clawed her way back to stardom and look beautiful.
A knockout.
Sure.
They're going to have to pause filming. They're going to have to pause filming for like 6 to 9 months so that Billy Blanks can go to her one of her houses.
You did not get Billy Blanks. Stop.
Because all these people are friends. Everyone in Hollywood knows each other.
I just have not heard Billy Blank's name in like an eon. This is fantastic.
That's a good person to try and fix. That's a good person to fix, Billy Blanks.
Dear God in heaven. Yeah. Is he alive? Is Billy Blanks alive?
He has to be.
If he's alive, he could do a really great geriatric
he's alive. Okay.
Workout.
Oh my goodness.
You know how they make the old people, like, they work out in the old folks home and they make them stand and sit up in the chairs?
Oh my word.
And they have to like tap their feet.
Never forget Tybo. Everyone had it. Never forget.
Okay, well, anyway, Dominick, you're the winner.
Dominic's the winner.
Thank you, Andrew. It's been a few weeks. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you recognize my vision.
Oh, my goodness.
Congratulations.
Thank you. What a thrill it was having you here. This was such a fun hour, truly.
Thank you for having me. It really has been nice to sit and gab with you all. And I hope that...
Please come back anytime.
Yeah, whenever you want. Well, you're coming back for Azalea Banks is what's happening.
Yeah, for sure.
We're doing it. Sure. We will do
Behind the paywall.
Behind the paywall. I have another friend. One of our longtime listeners also was like, I will do Azalea Banks with you. So we might have to do a 4-way situation. But it's going to be...
I'm sure Azalea Banks would love a 4-way situation.
Yeah, she would. She sure would.
Yeah.
Okay, the first line of that Patreon will be, we're talking about Azalea Banks today. Trigger warning, all of it.
Oh, everything you could think of.
All the triggers as we read her tweets. Yeah.
Andrew, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram. My Instagram name, Cody, always gives me shit about it because it's not my name. But fun fact, is my AOL Instant Messenger name. I've held it forever.
Love that.
It is Achaphawk, ACHAPPHAWK.
Love it.
That's my Instagram name.
That's beautiful.
Our podcast is called Tactful Pettiness. We're everywhere you can find your podcasts. We're there. And you can also find me on the street corner from 2:30 a.m. to 5 a.m.
Working,
honey. Assuming my cop friend is on duty because I don't have all of their information like I used to in the 80s.
Incredible.
Well, it's a gig economy.
Thank you. Seriously.
You get nothing but respect here.
Dominick, where can people find you?
You can find me at domentary.com or at Dominick Pupa on Instagram. In just a few days, opening night of my holiday tour in San Francisco. 10 stops from the 1st to the 22nd. Please go to the website, buy some tickets, come have a laugh and a drink and all sorts of other shit. Would love to see you. Christopher, where can the listeners of our podcast find you on the World Wide Web?
You can find me at the Chris DeRosa. You can find the show at Fixing Famous People. And you can obviously find the Patreon at patreon.com/fixingfamouspeople. I wish you both well. And as always, where's Shelley? Goodbye.
This is a PSA, or public sock announcement. Experts have declared Bombas socks as the best way to warm up chilly feet. These pairs are super cushy, soft, and designed for maximum coziness. Plus, for every pair purchased, another pair will be donated, so someone in need of essential clothing can stay warm this winter. Go to bombas.com/Wondery and use code WONDERY for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/Wondery.